In the future, the US government will launch a chemical attack on the entire country to reset society. The attack kills millions of people within minutes. Afterward, the government abandons any effort to maintain order. Survivors face two choices: join one of the gangs fighting for control, or live as domestics, people who seek peace. Before moving forward, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It will help us keep bringing your favorite movie recaps. And guess the movie's name in comment section. A few months after the attack, Mark and Nina, a domestic couple, load their car to travel to Milwaukee in search of Nina's parents. Mark's friend warns him about the dangers on the road, but Mark insists on going to support Nina, despite their plans to divorce before the attack. During the trip, they listen to a radio host advising domestics to avoid freeways, watch out for snipers, and shoot anyone dressed like a ghost, as they belong to the Sheets gang. Later, their car breaks down, forcing them to stop at an abandoned garage. Mark works on the vehicle when three men enter the shop. They don't notice the couple in the other room, so Mark carefully sneaks back to his car. Suddenly, a truck crashes into the shop, and the drivers, members of the Sheets gang, start shooting, slaying the three men. Mark struggles to start the car, and the noise draws the Sheets' attention. Luckily, the car finally starts, and the couple drives away just before the gang can hurt them. On the radio, they learn the Sheets are in a turf war with the Nailers. Later in the afternoon, they stop at an abandoned house to spend the night. Nina looks for supplies while Mark checks every room. In the bedroom, he finds a dead couple who were attacked and mutilated. Mark covers their bodies as a final act of kindness. Nina tries to contact her mom using an old radio, but no one responds.
Miss Milwaukee, this is Eagle. Over.
That night, Mark updates his map before sleeping next to Nina, unaware that a man outside is watching them. The next morning, a group of Nailers beats up the man and his friend. They threaten to kill them with a chainsaw unless they reveal where to find a woman. Terrified, the man tells them about Nina's location, but the Nailers shoot both men anyway. Moments later, the couple hears the Nailers approaching the house on their bikes. Nina hides in the attic and puts on headphones to block out the sounds. As the Nailers search the house, Mark sneaks around with a screwdriver and kills one of them by stabbing him in the head from behind. He tackles Nailer Dean to the ground, fights him, and stabs him in the stomach and eye, killing him. The couple then leaves in their car, unaware they're being watched. During the drive, they hear a radio report about a Cherry Gang member who's saving women and killing anyone in her way. When they stop at a supermarket for supplies, an armed man finds them. Their fear fades quickly when Nathan removes his mask and shakes Mark's hand, explaining he had been watching them to ensure they were friendly. The conversation is cut short by the sound of an approaching car. The trio hides behind the shelves as the Nailers enter the store searching for Nina. Before the Nailers can take a few steps, Nathan's son, Steven, shoots them all dead from his hiding spot behind a counter.
Clear.
Nathan then invites the couple to join his family for dinner. They leave in his tow truck, which drags Mark's car behind it. As they try to exit the parking lot, a gang called the Plowboys blocks their way. The leader, Jim, claims they're patrolling the area after hearing about the Gamblers gang. A woman named Betsy is trapped in the Gamblers truck, and Jim reveals she's the Cherry mentioned on the radio. However, Jim's interest quickly shifts to Nina. Steven prepares to shoot, but Nathan uses his good relationship with Jim to convince him to open the road, allowing the group to leave. Dean watches them without being noticed alive after all. Later, Nina and Mark have dinner with Nathan, his wife, and his two kids. The tension between Nina and Mark as they discuss their life is obvious, but Nathan and his wife are affectionate, even sharing a dance. After dinner, Nathan reveals to Mark that the hamburgers they ate were made with human flesh. Mark feels sick and begs Nathan not to tell Nina the truth, announcing that they are leaving. However, Nathan threatens him with deadly force, forcing them to stay. Suddenly, Dean bursts into the house, using Nathan's daughter as a shield. He demands Nina and Mark, and Nathan immediately agrees to trade them for his daughter. As Dean pushes the girl forward, Steven sneaks around and slashes Dean's ankles, causing him to collapse and fire his gun. The bullet hits Nathan's wife as Mark drags Nina away. Stephen then jumps on Dean and repeatedly stabs him while Dean desperately reaches for his gun. Outside, Nina and Mark hear a few gunshots before stealing Nathan's car to escape. Back on the road, Nina tells Mark she doesn't want to travel with him anymore, leading to an argument about their situation. The gamblers spot them approaching and spin their wheel, which lands on a skull. This signals the sniper to open fire, hitting Nina in the shoulder. Mark quickly turns the car around and heads back to town. Meanwhile, Nathan calls Jim, offering him the couple. Jim, thrilled, goes looking for his men, only to discover all of them dead. Betsy suddenly hits him from behind with a pipe, knocking him out. She frees all the women the gang captured, grabs some guns from a table, and drives off in a police car. Moments later, Jim's noises from the trunk annoy her, so she stops the car and shoots him in the leg. While doing so, she notices movement in the forest and goes after it, leaving her keys in the trunk lock. The next morning, Nina wakes up in a cabin with a bandage on her shoulder. Mark is gone, but has left a note saying he went to find food. When Nina tries to leave, she discovers another note warning her that the front door is booby-trapped, so she climbs out the window instead. Outside, she finds a car in the garage and hurries back inside to pack her bag, planning to leave alone. As she packs, she finds a note telling her to listen to music and another note pointing to the record with her favorite song. On a final note, Mark apologizes and begs her to save their marriage. Overcome with guilt, Nina decides to stay. She plays the record, drinks heavily, and dances to her favorite music. Betsy watches Nina dance from a distance. When Nina takes a break, Betsy returns to the car and kills Jim. Meanwhile, Mark enters an abandoned house and discovers two prisoners with bags over their heads. He removes the bags and is shocked to see Nathan and Stephen. Suddenly, a madman named William appears behind Mark with a gun, forcing him to drop his weapon. William, obsessed with ultraviolence, introduces his slave, Bill the Big, and demands that Mark and Bill fight to the death. If Mark refuses, William threatens to shoot Nathan and Stephen. Mark gets ready and kicks Bill in the groin. Bill blocks Mark's punch and counters with a powerful blow, knocking Mark to the ground. Bill then throws Mark around, kicks him in the stomach, and lifts him by the neck to choke him. While William watches with amusement, Mark headbutts Bill, forcing him to let go. But Bill quickly grabs Mark again and hurls him against the furniture. Bill attempts to break Mark's neck, but Mark bites his arm, prompting Bill to throw him at William. Mark then struggles with William for the gun, and during the fight, the gun accidentally goes off, killing William. Afterward, Mark frees Nathan, Stephen, and even Bill, and they all go their separate ways. When Mark reaches the cabin, he finds Nina asleep on the couch and carries her to bed. Later, Nina wakes up and sees Mark practicing his shooting. She asks him to teach her, and while they're practicing, Betsy sneaks into the cabin and discovers Nina's wedding ring. After the shooting lesson, Nina shows Mark a car she found in the garage. Mark feels nostalgic because it's the same model he once owned. Reliving old memories, the couple gets romantic in the back seat. Suddenly, the gamblers arrive. It's their car. They capture the couple and spin a wheel to decide their fate. The wheel lands on a spade, so the gamblers lock Nina and Mark in cages and take them to their headquarters at a rundown motel. The place is chaotic, with people drinking and fighting everywhere. The receptionist notes their names and realizes they're married, so he sends them to the Snake Eyes suite. The host starts taking bets as the couple is tied to their chairs, with one hand painfully drilled into a pair of guns on the table. Each gun is loaded with one bullet to play Russian roulette. The host warns that if they don't fire when told, 2 more bullets will be added. If they survive 6 rounds, they can leave. Mark urges Nina to shoot without hesitation, but Nina negotiates with the host. She demands 3 more bullets in Mark's gun in exchange for only having to endure 2 rounds. The host agrees. After loading the bullets, the game begins. The gamblers count down, and both guns fire, but no one is hurt. On the second round, Nina's gun fires the single bullet, hitting Mark in the shoulder. Wanda starts fighting another gambler over the bet money, distracting the host as he tries to calm them down. Nina keeps pulling at her bindings until she frees her hand, steals the host's gun from his boot, and shoots him twice. She then fires at the table to release their hands. Helping Mark walk, Nina uses the gun to threaten the others and shoots the host again when he tries to plead, killing him. Wanda demands revenge, but, with no weapons in the room, tells the others to let the couple go for now. As soon as Mark and Nina escape, Wanda and the others rush to grab their guns. The duo finds a working car, but is spotted by snipers on the roof. Before the snipers can fire, Betsy shoots them down first. Mark and Nina drive away as Wanda and the gamblers fire at them, but none of the shots hit. Wanda, frustrated, punches a fellow gambler and announces they're going after Nina. A few hours later, Mark wakes up in Nina's childhood home in Milwaukee. Neighbors tell Nina her father died from an illness, and her mother took her own life to be with him, leaving behind a letter. After reading the letter, Nina asks the neighbors how they maintain a peaceful life in the suburbs. They explain they've set up defenses, including car barricades, sniper rotations on rooftops, and explosives hidden in a mailbox connected to barbed wire to keep the gamblers away. While inspecting the traps, Nina happily reunites with Phil, an old family friend. Meanwhile, Betsy arrives and hides in the house across from Nina's, watching for enemies. Later, Nina notices Phil talking on a walkie-talkie. When she tries to confront him, he runs back into his house. Suspicious, Nina spies on him and discovers he's been communicating with the gamblers, who are on their way. At the same time, Nina spots a little girl on the street and quickly pulls her into the house just before the gamblers arrive. Nina hands Mark a gun and tells him to protect the child while she goes out to fight. The gamblers exit their cars and search the area until Nina suddenly opens fire, killing several of them. They hide behind their cars and shoot back, forcing Nina to take cover. Betsy seizes the moment and opens fire with her machine gun, taking down several gamblers in rapid succession. Nina reloads her gun as the gang turns to attack her. A gambler sneaks up behind her, but Mark shoots him through the window before he can act. Wanda refuses to back down and keeps fighting, while the neighbor on guard duty starts firing from the roof. Betsy runs out of bullets and hides, while Nina throws a homemade smoke grenade into the street. Inside the house, a gang member attacks Mark from behind and chokes him. Mark breaks off the horn from the man's mask and stabs him in the eye, then tackles him and drives the blade into his chest, hitting the heart. Outside, Nina keeps fighting, but Betsy realizes she's been shot. At that moment, the Plowboys arrive, seeking Betsy to avenge Jim. They get into a gunfight with the gamblers. The gangs fire at each other as the Plowboys' truck smashes through the car barricade. Nina activates the barbed wire trap, and as the truck touches it, a massive explosion destroys it. The neighbor guard shoots the last gambler, but is quickly killed by Wanda. Inside the house, Betsy gives Mark Nina's wedding ring. Wanda bursts in and shoots Betsy in the head, then turns her gun on Mark. Nina appears just in time and shoots Wanda first. With all the gangsters dead, Nina goes to Phil's house to kill him, but she finds him already dead. She notices a gang tattoo on Phil and takes back her father's favorite gun from the table. Nina notices the child staring creepily at Phil's house on her way out, which makes her wonder if the child is responsible, since there are rumors about a gang formed by children. Later, Nina gives Mark her father's gun, and he puts the wedding ring back on her finger in return. After recovering from their wounds, the couple returns to the road to hunt down gang members and protect other domestics. The radio host warns everyone not to mess with them. And that's how the movie ends. What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos. See you next time.